The paintwork is not of the highest quality. As a result, over time, the paint may begin to peel off. Despite this, the metal of the car body resists the onslaught of the red disease well, but it also has weaknesses. Operating experience has shown that most often corrosion appears on thresholds, door edges, and under rubber seals, and the exhaust system is also prone to corrosion. Often, owners complain about the low quality of the anti-corrosion coating of the bottom. For TDCI engines, the fuel system is very sensitive to the quality of diesel fuel, and if you fill up a car at untested gas stations, you need to be prepared for premature replacement of fuel injectors and particulate filter. There may also be problems with the EGR valve and injection pump. When choosing a car with a mileage of more than 100,000 km, pay attention to the condition of the dual-mass flywheel. The first signal of a flywheel malfunction will be the vibration of the gear lever at idle, a metallic ringing when the ignition is turned off, reminiscent of a dangling muffler. Also, rare minor twitches of the car in a standing position at the slight angles are possible. Gasoline engines are also quite reliable, but after 100,000 km of run, many of them require replacement of the hydraulic engine mount. If during engine operation a metallic clatter is heard resembling the knock of valves, the condition of the intake manifold flap should be checked. If suddenly the car began to start poorly and the speed also began to float, most likely the replacement of the ignition coils is required. Often the coils break through in wet weather or after washing the engine compartment. Also, a clogged throttle valve can be the cause of unstable engine operation. Cars of the first years of production suffer from oil leaks from the threader plugs of the cooling system channels in the head of the unit. This type of motor is afraid of oil starvation, so you need to constantly monitor the oil level in the engine, otherwise the metal timing chain tensioner may fail prematurely. The timing chain runs 200–250,000 kilometers. The 1.6 engine, unlike the other, is equipped with a timing belt drive, which should be replaced every 80,000 kilometers. The Ford S-Max can be equipped with a 5 or 6-speed manual gearbox, a 6-speed automatic and a power shift robotic transmission. In general, the machine and mechanics are quite reliable and do not require special attention. The manufacturer claims that all boxes are maintenance-free. However, many servicemen categorically disagree with this and recommend changing the oil in the box at least once every 80,000 kilometers. The clutch mechanism of mechanics in most cases nears 120–150,000 kilometers. Despite this, many experts do not recommend operating the unit. It is completely worn out, so as not to provoke premature wear of the dual-mass flywheel. A lot has already been said about the reliability of a robotic gearbox. Unfortunately, it does not have a longer source, 100–150,000 kilometers. Therefore, I would refuse to buy a car with such a transmission that has a mileage of more than 80,000 kilometers. Ford S-Max equipped with a fully independent suspension, McPherson strut front, multi-link rear. Top versions can be equipped with the IDVC shock absorbers. It is worth noting that cars equipped with such struts have reduced ground clearance. As operating experience has shown, the Ford S-Max suspension has practically no weak points, and a high level of comfort and endurance can also be noted. So, for example, stabilizer struts can last 60–80,000 kilometers, bushings up to 100,000 kilometers. Shock absorbers, thrust bearings and ball bearings on average run 100–120,000 kilometers. Silent blocks, hub bearings, CV joints with careful operation can last 120–150,000 kilometers. The rear suspension requires a major overhaul every 100,000 kilometers, and due to the endurance of parts, this procedure may seem unexpectedly expensive. Design calculation in it is necessary to adjust the ailment every 20,000 kilometers. The weak point in the steering is the power steering pump. The cause of premature failure of the pump is the freezing of the pressure-reducing valve. Closer to 200,000 kilometers, most instances require repair or replacement of the steering rack. Brake pads wear out after 30–40,000 kilometers. Discs will last 2–3 times longer. The plastic of the central console does not have good wear resistance. As a rule, it loses its presentation after 5 years of operation. Electronics rarely causes problems for owners, but only on condition that garage calibrants did not interfere with it. It is worth noting that there are not so few used copies with unauthorized intervention in the electronic systems of a car in the secondary market. Therefore, various failures can be occur in the onboard network up to the ignition of the main control module. Of the typical source of the model, one can single out malfunctions in the operation of the climate system control, damage to the wiring, failure of the windshield heating and failure of the air conditioning compressor. Before buying, be sure to check its performance. If you are the owner of this car model, please describe the problems that you had to face during the operation of the car. Perhaps it is your review that will help readers of our site when choosing a car.